Our victories in recent years mask a desire with the home care to make that real breakthrough, because I don't think we've made it yet. And I, like many who've played here and triumphed against all the odds, we've got to take that spirit with us. And we know that there's been some pretty tough economic news out there, and billions wiped off social care, and we know that more cuts are yet to come. We've just had the increase, as you know, from the beginning of this month, the national minimum wage, and then we have the surprise of the national living wage coming next spring. So let me say straight away that I fully support, and the Association fully supports the intention of the national living wage. Our staff, of course, are the backbone, and it's their hard work, dedication and commitment that keeps home care going. Now, they deserve every penny they get, and certainly the living wage and more, in my view. But it's being introduced against a backdrop of the worst financial crisis we in social care have ever faced. And our view is, unless the government wakes up and starts to properly fund social care, living wage included, then that's not going to happen, or it's going to be the final straw for far too many providers. And in case anyone really doubts that, I know many providers who are thinking of calling it a day soon, and those who next year will be, who simply won't be able to deliver the contracts. They'll hand them back because they're not workable to comply with the law. And today marks an auspicious day, of course. In 1989, it's been on the news a lot, was a film called Back to the Future 2, which the main characters went forward in time, coincidentally to today. And I wonder what they would have had if they'd include social care in that film. A utopian vision, perhaps, of people being cared for properly by a society that treated them with respect and dignity they deserved. Or vulnerable adults denied the knock on the door they looked forward to due to a lack of money. So for the sake of our future, I'm saying we can't go on as we are. Don't get me wrong, you're all doing a great job out there, and I was going to ask you to have a round of applause, but I'm not going to now because we haven't got time. So, more than ever in our history, we need you members out there, and we need to show a unity of purpose for home care. I'm going to talk about the petition in the second half of today, so we have more time for later. I just want to add a little thing. Alison's not in the audience, I don't think, yet, but we have to thank the BBC and Colin Age in particular for getting the message out there in the media about what's going on in home care. I want to mention the government spending review briefly. It's going to be make or break time, we feel, in home care, and we must ensure that the MPs and ministers press the case, which I'm sure they are, for social care like never before. It could be our Premier League moment. Here you go, I thought I'd try and weave one or two in. Or our chance to win or lose the Ashes, of course. And it's the first of many today, as Bridget said. First time we've actually had a minister in person, so I'm grateful for Mr Burt for coming. First time a host nation's gone out of the Rugby World Cup. First time Manchester City posted a profit since the Sheikh took over in 2008. And, ladies and gentlemen, the first time I've ever stood in front of a conference, I'm wondering whether or how I'm going to get through the next 12 months. More and more people need home care. It's not rocket science. We want better roads, we want better national defence, we want better health care. We pay for that. Why is it social care everything goes in reverse? Can't the Chancellor see that spending less on social care just adds more costs on the NHS? Not too complicated, is it? We need to see that money in the NHS go into social care. My own view, after 25 years in social care, is time for one body for health and social care. Simply doesn't work too around the edges. I've been told to move on. Former Health Secretary Stephen Dorling last week said, or this week actually, said social care should be ring-fenced. I totally agree with him. We've had lots of promises, many have been broken in my view, but rather like Scotland's hopes in the Rugby World Cup at the weekend, we've cruelly seen our dreams snatched away at the last minute. Now we have no social care cap either. So it's almost time, like the referee at Twickenham at the weekend, to make a hasty exit. But can I just add one quick thing in? Thank you, Minister, for coming. I know he's been out and about on lots of things, but I'd like to invite him to have a look at home care in the front line, to see those hard-pressed, stressed dom care providers trying to deliver highest care in the way that they do. And I hope you have some time to ask the Minister some questions what they plan for home care. So I know there's a strength of feeling. I hope you raise them today. So I hope that we'll use the opportunity to make our voice heard.